The richest boy in Kibera. Amid the narrow alleys of Kibera, Nairobi's sprawling slum, the air hung thick with smoke and the sharp tang of sweat. Makeshift homes of corrugated metal leaned against each other like tired men, their roofs patched with plastic bags to keep out the rains. The labyrinth of paths was littered with broken shoes, discarded bottles, and dreams that had long been forgotten. Yet, in this place where poverty cast its shadow on every wall, lived a boy who carried the light of something priceless. His name was Baraka, meaning, blessing, in Swahili. Baraka was 12 years old, and though his clothes were threadbare and his feet bare, his smile could outshine the sun. Every morning, as other children dragged themselves to fetch water or beg by the roadside, Baraka would rise with the dawn and race to a dusty open patch of earth near the railway tracks, his little siblings following him like ducklings. Here, under the tired shade of a skeletal tree, Baraka's world transformed. With a single deflated football, its stitching loose, its air long gone, he became a magician. He knew World Cup, he would shout to anyone who passed. This is the World Cup. The other boys, who had nothing to their names except scraped knees and hungry bellies, would cheer as Baraka darted through their makeshift goalposts, two crooked sticks stabbed into the ground. They clapped and laughed, their cheers rising above the grumble of trains and the distant hum of the city that had forgotten them. Baraka's secret wasn't in his skill, though he was quick as a whisper. It was in his spirit. He played as though the patch of earth was a stadium filled with thousands, and every time someone fell, he would pick them up, dust them off, and yell, "Tunakaa pamoja, we stick together." It became their motto, their bond, something money could never buy. One afternoon, after a particularly long game, Baraka sat cross-legged with his best friend, Musa, a lanky boy whose ribs showed beneath his shirt. Musa wiped sweat from his brow and frowned. "Baraka," he said quietly, "what will happen to us? To Kibera, we will never leave here." Baraka looked up at the sky, his eyes thoughtful. "Who says we need to leave to find riches?" Musa scoffed. "Because riches are everywhere but here. Look at this place." Baraka turned to his friend and pointed to the children playing, laughing, and holding each other up. "You think riches are only money? Rich people build walls, Musa. They lock their doors. Here, no one locks a door because we are all family. Do you see how we share one ball, one life, one laugh? That is what makes us rich. We belong to each other." Musa stared at him, bewildered, and then laughed. "You talk like an old man." Baraka grinned. "Maybe. But you will see one day." That night, as Baraka returned home, he found his mother sitting outside their tiny shack, stirring a pot of maize porridge over a flickering fire. His youngest sister, Amina, clung to her side. Baraka crouched beside her. "Mama, are we poor?" he asked suddenly. His mother paused, looking at him with tired yet gentle eyes. "Poor," she repeated softly. "We have each other, Baraka. You are here, your sisters are here. You bring laughter to every corner of this place. How can we be poor when our hearts are so full?" Baraka nodded slowly and smiled. He felt a warmth inside him that no meal, no toy, and no amount of money could give. The next day, a foreign aid worker arrived at their patch of earth with a crisp white shirt and a shiny camera. He handed out small, new footballs to the boys who played there, snapping photographs as they grinned and posed. Baraka held the ball in his hands, its bright leather glowing like a rare treasure. But when the man left, Baraka placed it down beside the old deflated ball, choosing instead to continue playing with the familiar one. When Musa asked why, Baraka simply said, "It's not the ball that makes us play, it's us. This one has been with us through it all." Years passed, and Baraka's words lived on like an echo in Kibera. Though life remained difficult and harsh, his spirit changed those who knew him. He grew to be a young man, still carrying his infectious laughter and boundless hope. Baraka would often tell others, "I am the richest man you will ever meet, because I have love. I have family, and I have this." He'd point to the field, to the children, to the friendships that had stood the test of hunger, of despair, of hopelessness. "I have a home." And indeed, Baraka was right. For what could be richer than a soul that knew the value of love, kindness, and togetherness? In the darkest corners of Kibera, he had built a kingdom of light, one that no poverty could ever steal.